Hi, everybody. It is Sarah, and it's time for your Monday Mortgage Minute. I have to admit, I'm so sorry. I missed last week. It just didn't get done. I was on vacation and I had intended to record something and post it, and I had an alert set to get it done, and somehow, because I was on vacation, it just didn't get done. So sorry about that from last week. So thanks for tuning in this week. And in the meantime, I figured out what I really wanted to talk about this week because two things happened. One is I was in a place on vacation where there's tons of public transportation, and because of that, life is a lot easier. And people don't really own cars. You don't have to own a car. It's expensive to own and fuel up and insure and register and park a car in a lot of foreign cities. And so therefore they seem to have really good public transportation. And it was highlighted to me when, over the time I was away, multiple clients of mine contacted us to let us know there was something wrong with their car. Someone got into an accident, someone's car got towed for being parked illegally, someone else's transmission went. And it just reminds me that, and I actually say this to people when people sit down to meet with me for the first time, sometimes I say, now be careful. You're going to walk out of here and something's going to happen to your car. Now, that's just because I think car issues can cost a lot of money. And when you're already falling behind on your bills, like I work with people who are in foreclosure, and so they're already behind on their bills, they probably don't have a lot of money saved. And when you don't have a lot of money saved, when something goes wrong with your car, it topples, like it's a domino effect. So that's what I want to talk about. It's always about the car. So sometimes it's a car problem that causes you to miss payment on other bills, like a mortgage or a rent payment, and that could really start, again, the domino effect. So the fact that a car problem prevents you from paying the most important bill, which is the bill that keeps the roof over your head, is just a symptom of inability to save money. And then when something, of course, Murphy's Law, something's going to go wrong with your car while you're already in a financial crisis. So first of all, keep in mind that it's very important, obviously, we live in Connecticut, in a place where it's really important to have a car. I mean, you could survive without one, but even people who take the bus, for the most part, homeowners that I work with who take the bus regularly, they're doing it for the convenience of not having to park downtown, or not having to pay to park, or to not have to worry about the commute. And they're not doing it because they don't have a car or they can't afford a car. They're just choosing not to use their car to get them to their job. You can plan in Connecticut to live without a car, but you have to find the right bus line that's going to take you to your job and take you to groceries. And if you have kids, to their activities, to get to their school when you need to, things like that. So for the most part, Americans have cars. We don't rely on public transportation, not in most areas of Connecticut at least. So you have to plan for that. And when everything's falling apart in your life financially, clearly, obviously, Murphy's Law, something's going to happen with the car, and it's going to really take a huge dent out of your budget. And that's when I start to see people. So people don't fall behind on their mortgage or go into foreclosure because of one thing. Maybe they could survive an issue with their car. But when you're already having problems, either you just lost your job and then you have a problem with your car, or someone in your family passes away and then you have a problem with your car. You had to take off work for a medical procedure and then you get rear-ended. It's the second thing. That's what people ask me, well, you work with people who don't pay their bills. And I say, hold on a minute. Don't be so quick to judge. It's never really the first thing. It's never the first issue that causes the hardship that results in not being able to pay a mortgage. It's a second thing. And I've just been talking to a lot of people in the last couple of weeks where it's the car. So if there's a takeaway from this, if you're in a situation where you're tight on money and you're deciding whether to pay for your car or your house, call me. I'm not saying I can help you make the decision, but there's a lot going on in your life, and maybe talking with me now will make it easier if you do need to talk to me again later about when something really does happen, like when something bad happens, like you can't pay your mortgage for multiple months at a time. The other takeaway would be, do your best to have a car savings fund, because car stuff happens. And of course, if you have car repairs, that you need to do and you're falling behind on your mortgage, you're less likely to pay attention to that noise that your car is making and dump a bunch of money into your car in case you need that money for the mortgage. So it's just keep in mind, your car is a huge expense as well. It's also a very important one, and keeping your car in good shape and having some savings in order to do that is very important. So I hope it made sense. Give me a call if you or someone you know is struggling to pay your mortgage, or is having car issues that might result in not being able to pay a mortgage, because sometimes the bank doesn't sympathize with you needed a new transmission, but we might be able to work it out so that you can get both. All right, thanks for listening. Keep your cars in good shape. Stay away from accidents if you can, and keep paying that mortgage. And call me anytime you need help with the mortgage or anything like that. Thank you. Bye.